Driving in New York City is surreal these days. There's lots of looting and protesting going on. Driving up here on the right, you can see a whole mob of people just waiting to loot. It's surreal, and people are just walking around them. Regular people are just around them, and they're just waiting. No cops right now in Soho, in the Soho area. But yeah, as soon as we passed by them, we heard them crack up some boards and stuff, so I think they're just starting right there. And as we drive through Soho, you can see that almost every store is boarded up. I mean, you're going to see that throughout all of New York City, actually. It's surreal to see. It's crazy. Never seen it like this. Some stores don't board up, but they just try to show that there's nothing in the store. That way, there's no point in really breaking the window, but most stores are boarded up. And I can imagine they probably have moved all their products out. I'm going to speed up anytime I hit a red light or when it's boring, just so you can not sit there and watch boring stuff. But as we approach the village, most things are closed because of the pandemic. And you'll see people are out now. I mean, it's almost as if people think the pandemic's over, but people are out playing ball. You can see this park in the village, walking around. A little bit unusual to see after seeing weeks of no one. Lots of police activity. You'll see over here, there's always things like this going on where all of a sudden, like, traffic will be blocked, or they'll be diverting some traffic temporarily. And this is just one of those cases, like, all of a sudden, they just close the street. And now we have to go around this cop. And all these cars in front are backing up, doing the same thing all of a sudden. It's moving everybody along. Must be tough to be a cop. I mean, there are good cops and there are bad cops, but if you're a good cop, it must be pretty tough these days. A lot of casualties when you are in the midst of a protest where everybody gets lumped together. But it's a shame because people are angry. It's called for, but it's just a tough time. You know, as I said, there are just people still walking around like normal. I mean, you have to live. Pizzerias are open. You'll see people just standing there eating pizzas or biking or doing all types of normal stuff. Over here in the village, not quite the village. It's still, you could still say it's below the village, but see lots of boarded up places. And then as we drive up, some places are open. The Chinese place is open. Food places are typically open. You know, traffic is back. There was a point in time where I was driving around, there's no traffic. It was completely empty. Not as bad as it was. I mean, this is at 7 p.m. on a Tuesday. So there would be a lot more traffic on a normal day before the pandemic. Just here at school, it's closed obviously. Nothing going on here now. But some streets are dead like this, and some streets are busy, but yeah, much less busy than usual. It's a nice mural. Looks like it signifies some sort of diversity, which goes with the theme of what's going on today. And not many people in the street in terms of pedestrians, but a little bit of traffic. More cops, barricading or stopping or closing off streets. Speed this up a little for you as you drive through. More cops. We're already in the Midtown area. You can see people are eating outside, like, enjoying the day. Meanwhile, it's juxtaposed with all this chaos. It's kind of weird. I guess people have to live, you know. You're just walking in the midst of chaos. Speed up as we go through more of Midtown. Come through Penn Station and Madison Square Garden. See a lot more advertisements relating to the pandemic. So you speed up to the Port Authority, you'll see just a ton of police here for some reason. I don't know why they weren't in Soho where the looters were, but you gotta be like 30, 50 cops here, just on this one side of the street. I guess they're trying to protect people. Either that or they anticipate some sort of protest here. But again, this is Port Authority on 42nd Street. We're just hanging out, waiting. You know, I don't know. There are places where there are lots of stores and there's no cops, 0 cops. It's actually crazy how little cops there are in some areas. And I don't know if it's because they're outnumbered there or they give up and they don't want to deal with it, but around here there's a lot. Speed up a little bit as we approach Times Square. Not many people, but you know, more than the pandemic, but less than before the pandemic. 7 o'clock again on a Tuesday, so very few for that amount of time, for that time frame, I should say. Everything's boarded up here too. You'll see that everywhere in New York. It's shocking how much is boarded up. Just about every retail store that's major is boarded up. Speed up this red light for you. As we go through here, you know, pretty empty. Got a couple bikers. They're actually getting used to biking, and there's actually, I can tell people are getting used to the fact that there's not many cars on the road because they'll just ride in the middle, and then they'll see you coming down the street and they'll be stunned. So they're starting to get used to this emptiness. Alright, so Times Square. There's a lot of police here because there's a protest right here in the middle of Times Square. In a minute I'll get out of the car and show you a little bit more closely, but as we drive through here, everywhere else is pretty empty except right by the protest. Right there in that little area, it's completely packed. As you can see, it's very busy here. Showing some support by walking through, cheering. It's an amazing sight. At the same time scary because how many people are close together. Looks like everyone has a mask though. A lot of healthcare workers here, as you can see by their scrubs. You'll see more later. So you walk around. Very famous area in New York City in Times Square. News crews here. People are just cheering. Peaceful protest. Nothing wrong with this. Most people in Times Square I've seen in a while. And here are the healthcare workers I've been mentioned before. There's a trail of flowers over here. bit more of a shot of Times Square for you before I leave. We've been doing this for like an hour. We're just standing there, making noise. It's amazing. Alright, and this is Herald Square, or where Macy's is. Last night, you have seen in the news that people broke in here and ransacked all of Macy's. They have it under control now, as you can see, but it's still boarded up. Feel bad for retail right now. Got hit with the pandemic, and now New York is getting hit again. Same with LA and some of the major cities where retailers are facing looting and stuff like that. Hopefully they have insurance to get it all covered. NYPD is very, very much on the scene here. Yep, they already have this all covered. Check out the news if you haven't seen it. It's an amazing thing that you can see just looters. Why would they go into such a huge store? I mean, it's very easy to get trapped in there and get caught, but they did it. It's weird, even for looters. Yep, so I boarded back up. And you'll see this whole area is a shopping district. Everything is boarded up. That's a store. Steve Madden is one that is starting to get boarded up. Zara. Aldo. GX didn't board up. Superdry. Banana Republic. Zoomies did not board up yet. Foot Locker looks like it's about to start. Some of these stores. Amazon Books. Some of these stores I don't even know what they are. Sometimes they block out the sign so you don't even know what store it is. And this is on both sides of the street. Look at that one coming up in the corner. And then, so we pull up here. I never know how to find out where the protests will start, but maybe they gather over time. We ran into one right here as we were driving, unexpectedly. So I'll get out of the car and walk over and show you what it looks like. This one seems to be a little bit more aggressive, but not unpeaceful. Still peaceful. Incredible gathering. I think they just pick up people along the way, and more people march with them. Cars beeping, showing support. People of all races, colors, genders. It's an amazing thing to see. At the same time, you gotta be careful because you never know when something can break out. But this is beautiful. Hopefully it stays peaceful. Looks like it will. Now let's show you on the way to Madison Avenue, where most luxury stores are, how much police activity there is. These people look like they're getting ready. They're coming out of personal cars, not even police cars. Maybe they're reservists, or I don't know what you call it, but police that are usually volunteers. Maybe I don't know how it works, but I know that there's the special forces that they're ordinary citizens, but that you can call on if you need help. You guys kind of waving his baton as if he's ready to fight. I hope not. Hope it doesn't break out. Again, we're in New York City, as you can see by the sky and the skyscrapers. And lots of police here. Speed it up for you a little bit as we drive through. More police, more police. Ton of police for blocks. I mean, at this point, I don't know whether to feel safe around police or not safe, because you see them doing weird things on the news, but I'm sure there's plenty of good police, and their job is to protect people, so overall I do feel safer. But, you know, when things break out and tear gas flies, you just never know what's going to happen. People, stores boarding up. Mont Blanc over here. UGG hasn't done anything, but they cleared the store. There's Chase. The banks aren't really doing much. I think they're secure. Tumi hasn't boarded up. Balenciaga has. Over here, you'll see Celine cleared their entire store but did not board up. Maybe just to show that there's nothing in there. Right? I mean, people can still try to break the window, but maybe they just moved all their stock elsewhere. But there's nothing in there. That girl is amazed by that sight. And then everything else is boarded up here. You'll see all types of luxury brands here. Marc Jacobs. Wouldn't say that's a high-end brand, but they really boarded up here. There are some real high-end brands here. I'll show you in a minute. Just about every major store is boarded up. Every once in a while you'll see one that isn't. I'm guessing it's to show that they don't have anything in there. And they're insured anyway. Sometimes I see police not really doing much about the looting. Sometimes yes, sometimes no. Probably because they're outnumbered and they can't go fast enough. But there's Armani. I mean, they boarded up in black. Even their boarding up is a little more luxurious. I haven't heard of some of these brands. Bartel is pretty famous, boarded up. It's a restaurant or a dessert place. So yeah, that's how it looks. Central Park, pretty normal looking actually. I mean, residents and residential homes are not really being attacked, which is a great thing. I don't think people are looking to hurt anybody. But this is a residential area with a park next to it, and looks like just another normal day. If you like this video, I have plenty of videos showing New York City and how it looks around the world using drones and other methods. So subscribe if you like it and check out my channel. Thank you.